That was Meredith Wilson, the Oomph Boy. While Meredith lives among his memories of happy school days, suppose we continue with our study of child life. Here she is, that little decoy for a nervous breakdown, Fanny Brice as Baby Snooks. Last week, Daddy, played by Hanley Stafford, became the proud father of a lovely boy. Naturally, he's all wrapped up in the little one. But Snooks seems to feel that the newcomer has usurped her place in Daddy's affections. She's been acting strangely all week, and as the scene opens, Daddy is putting Snooks to bed. Here they are.
All right, dear. Say your prayers, and I'll turn out the light.
I ain't going to say no prayers.
Oh, but Snooks, you must say your prayers.
Can I leave out the baby?
Why, of course not.
Then I ain't going to say no prayers.
Now, look here, child. You don't know how you're hurting me by acting this way. I can't understand why you've been so sullen since the baby came.
I don't like him.
Well, why not?
He hollers too much.
Why, of course he cries a lot, but that's only his way of letting us know that he wants something.
Well, why don't he ask for it?
Oh, Snooks, you know as well as I do that infants can't talk.
Why?
Because no baby talks until it's at least a year old.
That ain't what you said to Uncle Louie.
What did I say to Uncle Louie?
You said you cursed the day you was born.
Well, never mind that. Now, I want you to say your prayer.
There he goes again, Daddy.
Well, Mummy will look after him. Little Dickens is probably hungry.
Where did he come from, Daddy?
I told you, the angels in heaven sent him down.
Why?
Oh, they had their reasons.
I guess they couldn't stand that racket.
I wish you'd stop that silly talk. The child is adorable, and you'll soon get to love him. Don't you think he's awful cute to look at?
No.
Well, why do you say that?
He looks like a lobster.
Well, he is a little red, but all new babies look that way. Anyway, the redness will soon disappear.
Will the baby disappear?
Now, if I can help it.
Oh. Daddy.
What is it?
Is only babies' faces red?
Oh, no. Sometimes grown people's faces get red.
Why?
Oh, for various reasons. Mostly a person's face turns red when he's ashamed.
Does it?
Yes.
Why does Uncle Louie only get ashamed in his nose?
Well, we won't discuss that now. It's time for you to go to sleep. Now, kiss me good. Snooks, what are you doing?
I'm doing nothing, Daddy.
You're biting your nails. I told you I don't like that habit.
Why?
Because it's not nice. Now, you stop it, you hear me?
I don't want to.
Oh, maybe you'd like a spanking.
You hate me, don't you, Daddy?
Oh, what are you talking about?
If I bite my nail, you spank me.
Well, what about it?
But if that new kid sticks his whole foot in his mouth, you think it's cute.
Oh, what ridiculous nonsense. Now, just listen, Snooks. You've simply got to get over this jealousy.
I ain't jealous.
Yes, you are.
No, I ain't.
You are! What are you crying about?
I don't know.
Well, all right, now, be a good little girl and go to sleep, and Daddy will always love you.
All right, Daddy.
Good night.
Good night. Daddy,
Yes?
why are you all dressed up?
Well, I've been invited over to the MGM studios to see a picture.
What picture?
It's a private showing of The Wizard of Oz. I've got to leave right away.
I want to go with you.
Well, you can go with me, Snooks. But if you promise not to interrupt, I'll tell you the story very quickly.
I promise, Daddy.
Very well. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in Kansas, and her name was Dorothy. She lived with her...
Who lived?
Dorothy. She lived
Dorothy
with her...
who?
Just Dorothy. And she lived with... her aunt and her uncle.
Uncle Louie?
No, Uncle Henry. Her aunt's name was Em, and her uncle's name was Henry, and she lived with them. Now, she was just a little...
Who was?
The little girl.
Which little girl?
The little girl in the story.
What story?
The Wizard of Oz! Now, don't ask any more questions. I'll be late for the picture. Now, this little girl, Dorothy, lived with her aunt and her uncle.
Why?
Because her parents died when she was a child and left her an orphan.
What did she do with it?
What did she do with what?
The orphan.
She was the orphan.
Who was?
Dorothy!
Ah.
Dorothy loved her uncle very much because he gave her a dog called Toto. He was black all over.
Her uncle was black?
No, her dog. One day there came a big cyclone, and Aunt Em...
What's a cyclone, Daddy?
You know what a cyclone is, Snooks. What is it that comes very suddenly, turns the whole house upside down, and leaves nothing but trouble in its wake?
A new baby.
No. It's a big windstorm. Now, when the cyclone struck, Dorothy didn't have time to get to the cellar. So she was swept away in the house with Toto. And she was carried...
Who was carried?
Dorothy. She was carried...
Oh, where's the wizard?
I'm coming to him if you'll just be patient. She was carried to the land of the Munchkins.
What's Munchkins?
They're very little people.
Am I a little Munchkin?
No.
Well, I'm little, ain't I?
Listen, you can be little without being a Munchkin. But you can't be a Munchkin without being little.
Why?
Because Munchkins are born little and they stay little. Children are born little and they grow up to be big.
Big Munchkins?
No, big people.
Will I grow up to be big?
Certainly you will.
Big as Aunt Sophie?
Yes. What are you yelling about?
I want to be a Munchkin.
Oh, for heaven's sake. I've got to get to the studio. Will you keep quiet until I finish the story so you can go to sleep?
No.
Or you don't want to hear the end of the story?
No.
Well, that's fine. You want to go right to sleep?
No.
You don't want to hear the end of the story and you don't want to go to sleep? In heaven's name, what do you want?
I want to go see the picture.
Oh, well. With a new baby and everything, you have had a tough week. Now get dressed. I'm going to take you with me.
Why?
Oh, just on account of the new baby.
Oh. Daddy?
Yes?
Have another baby next week so I can go to the circus.
All right, I'll order it right away. Come on. We're
Yeah,
off
off
to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Now, friends, let's go back 50 years to a famous old hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a warm summer night, but the stately Maxwell House is lighted with a blaze of candles. The Southern aristocracy is gathered to pay honor to a great Southern colonel. He stands resplendent in his uniform, surrounded by delighted, laughing girls, admiring men. And now the waiters come around with refreshments. We hear the colonel.
And is this that famous Maxwell House coffee I've heard so much about?
Yes, sir, Colonel. This show is it. This here's Mr. Cheek's coffee.
Well, I'd like to speak to Mr. Cheek if he's here.
Here I am, sir, at your service.
Well, Mr. Cheek, I want to congratulate you. Your coffee has become very famous in the South. It's delightful. But tonight it's so warm and all, I wonder if I could try your Maxwell House ice.
With pleasure, Colonel. I'd thought of that. I have the ice right here. So, there you are, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Cheek. Ah, delicious. By Jove, Mr. Cheek, that is wonderful coffee. And it's a real test when you drink coffee iced, you know.
Yes, friends, either iced or hot, Maxwell House has always been a delicious coffee. But today, that famous Maxwell House is even more delicious than it was when Joel Cheek created it, more than 50 years ago. And there are two important reasons why. Today, not only has this famous blend been still more marvelously enriched, but we've developed a remarkable new way of roasting Maxwell House called Radiant Roast, a process which roasts each coffee bean evenly all the way through. So there's no chance of weak coffee due to under-roasting, no chance of bitter coffee due to parching. Your new Maxwell House gives you the same rich, smooth, full-flavored goodness every time. That's why more people are enjoying Maxwell House today than ever before in its history. So, friends, get a pound of the new Maxwell House tomorrow. Try it. Your very first delicious taste will tell you that this new Maxwell House is now, more than ever, good to the last drop.